Terrified of the legendary San Diego, and the place was packed. And a few songs in, we're playing like our lives depend on it at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I noticed a girl in the front row looking up at me, giving me the big eye. She's like, hey. And I was like, madam, I'm busy right now. These songs go at 90,000,000 miles an hour, and they did on the stage, I cannot discern one song from another. And in those days, it's like, what the rah! And you could sing any lyric, and it would kind of fit, and sometimes you didn't know the song, because the sound on stage was just, you'd come to an end, and you'd, jump up and down and go, wah, wah, and it would seem to fit in. And so I'm looking at this woman like, not now. I'm busily and gainfully employed doing this whole thing. And so she keeps smiling at me, and I keep staying with the music. And at one point, a young man walks up next to her and glares at me. And I'm like, okay, you like me, you not so much. And then I notice that he reaches up and grabs me, I think by the arm, and pulls me into the audience, where he and his two friends proceed to pull my arms back. And the guy, initially angry at me, started punching me in the face. And it's like one of those waking nightmares where you cannot keep away from a fist that's pummeling your face. And I managed to move this way and that way, and he'd miss, but a couple of punches got me clean in the face. And one got me like right in the middle of my face, and I heard this wonderful cracking sound of bits of my nose. And finally, one of our road crew guys jumped off the stage, got these guys off me, and bundled me up back to the stage. And of course, I can't leave, because we have work to do. There's only 80 more songs. And so, I finished the set. You have to start what you finish. So we come to the end of the set, and that's when I had to wade into the men's room after the show amidst puke and angry punk rockers. I don't know why they were mad. And I had to stand in the mirror and reset my nose. And that's why it kind of goes slightly to the side, because I'm not all that good at setting my nose. So that's the story. But basically, that told me all I needed to know about California. Scary cops, intense audience members, and some of the cities you really have to watch your ass, because the violence is incredibly random. Like, wow, nice neighborhood. What's that? That's a gun. That's a gun, and that's California. I'm not putting the place down. I'm just saying it was very different than what I thought it was going to be. Anyway, I told you that to tell you this. I was touring in America, and I've been out of California for weeks and weeks and weeks, being everywhere else. And so me and my tour bus, my Flying Dutchman, sorry about that, my rolling carbon footprint, my Bon Jovi mobile, my Def Leppard Express, as I call it, we come rolling down from either Oregon or Washington State into California. And my welcome back to the state of California is an email from a detective from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, who writes me his salutation, not like "Dear Henry" or "Hey Henry." It is my full name, my date of birth, and my driver's license number. That is him letting me know he knows who I am. Do I feel intimidated? Absolutely. And so, I am Detective Lavella of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I'm a detective. And on this night, the date he would not give me, at a bar called Iguanas, in a place called Pico Rivera, which I actually had to look up on the map and find out is part of Los Angeles. That is the level of denial that I am in. I've been living in Southern California over half of my life, and I refuse to learn the city of Los Angeles. It's some stucco-coated killing field near the airport, I think. One of the many dangerous chasms of Southern California. And apparently there's a bar there called Iguanas. I looked it up on the internet. They have a website. And so apparently on some night in the history of the world, I was in that bar and I did something to a woman named Iris Lopez, to a degree where she called the cops on me. The detective would not tell me the nature of the complaint. He said the allegations were incredibly serious, that he and I needed to speak immediately. And so, like any innocent person, or perhaps I project too much, me not having done anything to any woman in a bar in Pico Rivera, I was furious that any allegation had been leveled towards me. And I think a general reaction of an innocent person when the law comes calling, if you have not done the crime, you don't say, oh golly gosh, I really didn't do that. You say, really? I did something? Prove it. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know how it is here in beautiful Holland, but in America, we are fairly addicted to reality TV shows of all kinds. And one formula that works very successfully, including working on me, is cop shows, crime shows. And they bring the person in for the interrogation. I watch this with a great deal of interest, and I have noticed a few things that always point towards guilt, or usually point towards guilt. The person being inquisitioned becomes passive and submissive in front of law enforcement and will often utilize the word sir all the time. No, sir, I wouldn't. No, sir, I didn't do that. No, sir, I swear, sir, no, I would never do that. Sir, no, I would never shoot my mother in the face. We have a 3-camera shoot of you shooting your mother in the face. In high definition, it's a very well-lit room. No, I wouldn't do that, sir. I'm saying sir. A person says sir as many times as I'm saying sir, would never shoot anybody. Or then they'll invoke God or Jesus Christ as some higher power. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, sir. I would never do anything like that. Or sometimes, oddly, they will take their arms out of their t-shirt and put their arms inside of their t-shirt and hug their body under the shirt. I've noticed this is how addicted I am to these crime shows. Or they'll ask for a coat and put the coat on without putting their arms in the sleeves, perhaps to distance themselves or insulate themselves from the Inquisition. It seems to me, if you are innocent, you are sitting across from a detective going, I did what? I did what? I did what? Which is exactly the way I was when I did 3 days of interrogation in a murder case that I was a witness to. And they're trying to set me up with fake questions. We know that you bought marijuana from the local dealer. Me? Buy marijuana? Never going to happen. Are you kidding me? I think marijuana in America, I cannot speak for Holland, but in America it should be decriminalized. I think it is a catastrophic waste of time. I do not think it should send you to jail, though. If you want to do that, go ahead. I don't think you should be behind bars with people who hack people to pieces. I hacked 9 nuns into 25,000 pieces. What did you do? An ass pocket of weed. You shouldn't be in jail with someone like that just because you like to smoke some pot. I noticed that there's all kinds of access to cannabis products in the city of Amsterdam. I've never seen the city of Amsterdam on fire with women running down the streets holding on to torn bodices going, the insurrection! You all seem to be conducting yourselves rather well, in my opinion, with prostitution and drugs fairly available. You seem to have survived that pretty well. Maybe my America could too. You never know until you try. Anyway, this detective was telling me all kinds of untrue things about myself, trying to get me to cop to something. We know you bought marijuana from the local dealer. I'm like, really? What's the local dealer's name? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? And he's like, pulling it out of his ass. He's like, Mike. I go, are you kidding? Mike the drug dealer? Is that what it says on the back of his leather jacket when he goes by my house on his tricycle? Like, why don't you get Mike the drug dealer to come in? Let's have a little sit down. I go, describe what he looks like. How tall is he? You're a detective. You know how tall people are. Tall. How's he complected? Dark hair, light hair, facial hair? What? It's like, and they did this to me for 3 days. And they kept telling me, tell the story, tell the story, tell the story. And I kept telling the story because it was the truth. And it kept being the same thing, so I was telling the damn truth over and over again. 2 and 2 is 4, 2 and 2 is 4, 2 and 2 is 4, 2 and 2 will never be 5, because it's 4. Unless you're some abstract mathematist, and that's for you. It's 2 and 2 is 4 to me. And so when this, sorry, not to put too long a tail on this Skype, if I was guilty of something, I would have been, oh no, I'm the detective, please. So I wrote this detective back in anger, abiding by my First Amendment rights given to me by the Constitution of the United States. And I was well within my rights. I said, dear detective, I did something to some woman in some bar in Pico Rivera. Pal, you let me know what night that was, and I'll tell you exactly what I was doing on that night, because, buddy, I have a fairly accurate record of every night of my life for about the last 30 years. And on many nights, there's photographic evidence, and on many nights of every single year, there's a whole lot of witnesses. So you get back to me, and you let me know on that day, and I will tell you with great accuracy where I was. And I cannot wait to hear from you, truly. And maybe it was a little hard on the detective. I'm sure the detective is used to people being a little angry. He was, in essence, doing his job. Someone calls him, he's got to chase this thing down. I'm the person of interest. And so the next day, he writes me back. And not any nicer. He doesn't say, dear him, he just says, here's the information. Here's a dispatch from a detective. And he said that we've looked into this case. We found out on the night in question, I forget what night it was, he gave me the date. He said, you were in Kelowna, Canada. I cannot describe to you, A, how beautiful Kelowna, Canada is. It is a beautiful part of Canada. It is magnificent. Some witnesses bear this out. And more importantly, besides being a beautiful place for people to vacation and catch their breath and regain a modicum of sanity, it is thousands of miles away from Los Angeles County. And on that night, I enjoyed an audience of about 75 strong. in Kelowna, and they're always